for a couple of days now. I just haven't had the time to do it. On Monday, I got called into the office. On the side note, I work 2 different jobs. As I've said before, I work 2 different caregiving jobs. Same company, but they're not a franchise, so different owners own each one. So I literally worked for 2 of the same company, but 2 different owners. Okay, so Monday, I go into one of the caregiving jobs, and I'm supposed to go to a meeting because they walked in and I didn't have any shoes on, and apparently you're supposed to have shoes on at all times when you're in the client's home. I was unaware that that was a rule. I had no idea that was a rule, but apparently it was, so whatever. The first client that I had, he was bedridden, he was on hospice and everything like that. And when I was there, he slept like 95% of the time. So I usually sat and played solitary on my phone, and the client's wife was fine with it. Whatever. But I always sit on the couch like this, and I closed my eyes for like a minute because my eyes were burning because I didn't get very much sleep last night, the night before. So I closed my eyes because they were burning and they were hurting because I didn't get any sleep. She walks in when I close my eyes and says, "Are you sleeping?" And I said, "Oh, I'm sorry," because that was just my initial response. But I actually wasn't sleeping. I just had my eyes closed. In the same day, she yelled at me for having my shoes up on the couch, even though I always, the first day I was there, I had my Ugg boots on, and I didn't take them off throughout the house, and I had my Ugg boots up on the couch. She never said anything that day, but the day I was barefoot, and I put my feet up on the couch, she freaked. So I was like, okay. I usually sit with my feet tucked underneath of me when I sit. I don't know why. That's just how I normally sit. Whatever. So, and then on top of that, the first time I was there, I was only there twice. She said, "You made food, but you didn't put something over top of it, so it exploded in my microwave." I made, pork chops. Pork chops don't explode in the microwave and spit everywhere. So I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm going to say okay because you're the boss, basically. So I was like, whatever. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't think about it like that. It was just pork chops. I didn't think that they would explode. I didn't think they would make a mess. So she was just on my case all day. And then when the next caregiver came in, and I'm like, hey, I don't know if it's just me or not, but she's been on my case all day. I think she's slightly agitated, not quite sure why. Haven't asked her why, haven't spoken to her other than her yelling at me all day. But yeah, so I left, and they called me and said, hey, you need to come into the office. I said, okay, whatever. So that's one reason why I got fired. The other reason, they have multiple reasons, I guess. So, I did tell her, I will admit, I was not sleeping, but my eyes were closed when she walked in. And my initial response, because I don't have a filter, I just say what comes to mind. I don't think about it before I say it. I never have. My initial response was, oh, crap, sorry, But even though I wasn't asleep and even though I wasn't in the wrong, that was my response. Whatever. So I go to the next client. The next client has dementia. She's a very, very sweet lady. She's slightly racist, but whatever. So she is a very, very sweet lady. And usually when I went there, I got there at 8. She woke up at 11:30, 12. And then we sat and talked for 4 hours because I worked 8 to 4. So I, usually when I sat at her house watching YouTube while I'm waiting for her to wake up, I sat in the dining room, and watched YouTube until she woke up, and then around 11:30, I started making her food, so when she's awake, there's food as soon as she wakes up. Okay, so, never, ever, ever, no, that's not true. I No, that is true. I have never, ever, ever sat on her couch in her house. She had this recliner chair that I sat in the first day because I didn't know how this worked. But I never, ever, ever sat on the couch. Okay. So I go in for this, they just called me in and they didn't tell me what it was. They were just like, you need to come in. We need to discuss something. And I was like, am I going to get fired? And she's like, no. Really? Okay. So I went in and she sat me down and she's like, okay, we need to talk about a couple things. And I said, okay. She said, well, you can't go back to the first client's house, the one that was in hospice, because the wife said that you fell asleep on her and that you were not listening to her rules. And I said, okay, first off, I wasn't sleeping. My eyes were closed, but my eyes were hurting, so I closed them. And when she walked in, my initial response was, oh, crap, I'm sorry. I was not sleeping, not in the slightest. And she said, okay, you still can't go back there. And I said, whatever, that's fine. And then she said the second client, the one with dementia, she said she had a caregiver call us, say that the girl with the blue hair fell asleep on the couch and would not wake up until 3:30 because she knew the other client was coming, or the other caregiver was coming. And I'm like, what? And she's like, that's what she told us. That's what she told the caregiver to tell us because she could hear the client in the background telling the caregiver the story. And I was like, I've never sat on the couch before. I don't sit on her couch. I sat on the reclining chair and I sat in the dining room, but I've never sat on the couch. She's like, well, 2 clients are telling me that you're sleeping on the job. I'm like, but I just explained to you that I wasn't. I explained to you that, one, the first client, I was not sleeping. My eyes hurt, so I closed them for a minute, whatever. And then the second client, I never sat on her couch. So why are you telling me I slept on her couch if I've never sitting on her couch? Well, 2 clients have said that you slept on the job, so we're going to have to terminate you. And I'm like, but she has dementia, and she doesn't know what she's talking about. Why are you firing me for some lady who doesn't know what she's talking about because she has dementia? This lady, the lady with dementia, love her. She's a sweetheart. She tells me the same story 100 times before I leave that house because she doesn't realize that she keeps telling me the same story, which is fine. I'm used to it. Whatever. Doesn't bother me. But if you, before I go to the client, you tell me she's going to tell you the same story over and over again because she has dementia. She doesn't remember anything. Okay, well then why would you take her word if I'm sleeping on the couch? Like, I don't know. And then after she's like, you've been terminated. Oh, also, you're not allowed to have colored hair. And I was like, but I looked at the rule book. Not that it matters because I'm already fired. But I looked at the rule book and it didn't say anything about colored hair because I looked at it like 5 times and I had 3 people look at it. She's like, it's against dress code. And I'm like, okay. And then she's like, you also have to wear shoes at all times in client's house. That's against dress code to not have them on. And I'm like, I didn't even know that was a dress code, but okay. You're already firing me. Stop adding shit to the list. Just fucking give me the paper, let me sign, let me leave. And I just, after I got into the car, I just wanted to say, I didn't say it, but when I got into the car, I just wanted to turn around and say, I really hope you find the real caregiver that's sleeping on that sweet lady, because it wasn't me. And I don't know why what came to mind when she said that, but I never sat on that couch. I never fell asleep on that lady. I hope you find the real caregiver that's actually sleeping on her. Or that lady hated me so much that she made up a story. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I can tell you that I never sat on that lady's couch and I never fell asleep at her house. So I feel like I got wrongly fired. But yeah, so now I have one job. The thing is, that they're only giving me, because I was working with, and I was trying to get them both to work for me. I had the one that fired me Monday through Thursday, and the one Friday through Sunday. But I only have one client with them, which I work Friday, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But on every other weekend, I only work Fridays. So like this weekend, I worked Friday. And then next weekend, I worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Okay. But it's not my only job. So now that is 100% not enough to pay my bills. So I called them and I'm like, hey, I just lost my other job. I need more hours. She's like, I don't have anything. And I'm like, I need something. And she's like, honestly, honey, I don't have anything. I have 2 24-hour clients coming soon, but that could be in the next month. And I'm like, you don't have anything. Nothing at all. Nothing for the other Saturday, Sunday that I'm going to be working, or anything at all. She's like, no, I do not have anything. And I'm like, fuck. So now I literally am working 1 day this week, and then next week I'm working 3. So I don't know how I'm going to pay my bills, but that is the current situation that's happening. I got fired on Monday. It is now Wednesday. I never said anything because I just haven't had a second because I got fired. I went to Jackie's house because I was on a stream there because I've been streaming Spyro at her house. And she was there and I told her what happened and she said, okay, well, you don't like being alone, which is true. I hate being home alone. So I'm gonna come over tonight if that's cool with you. And I said, fuck yeah. So what happened is on Monday, we streamed until 6. 6, she came over to my house. And then Tuesday, she had to work 3, I think. It was 2 or 3, it was 3. So we woke up at 1, went to her house. I streamed until 9:30 because that's when she came back home from work. And then we packed up all the shit and went to my house again. And then this morning, we woke up. We had to go to her house because she worked 4 to 8. So we literally packed up and went. And we streamed like fucking crazy the past 2 days. But yeah, so that's what's happened. I haven't had a second to breathe by myself yet. And she's still hulaing. Hula, 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 hula. I am not on drugs, I promise. Guess where we are? We were just streaming, and now we are at Walmart looking at the bikes. So bad. It even has like a little motherfucking basket and everything. What bike would Jackie ride?
Bike with Jackie ride?
Yeah.
Have all these bikes?
Can you get these out? Like, can I actually ride this?
It's like it's kind of.
It's like stuck on each other. Of course, the bike I like is. Oh god.
Oh, one second. Let me figure out this because that helps a lot.
I just didn't know if they were attached or not. It's attached to this. Hold on. I'm putting it back. I was just riding this bike behind me, and as I was riding it back, the lady's like, you're not supposed to ride the bikes in here. And I'm like, I was just testing it out. She's like, that means get off. Because I was trying to ride it back over to put it down in there. She was mean. I've never been yelled at to not ride the bikes before.
Like, literally, like, what if I want to try to make sure I actually like it?
Right, like, what if I can't, because I'm so short, what if I can't put it down anymore and that I buy it, but then I can't get on it because it's too tall? Like,
I come back a billion times and buy different bikes because...
Right. So that was the first time I think I've ever gotten yelled at Walmart. That was interesting.
I think she should have
cute. I love that shirt on you. I love that shirt.
I've always had a problem with like at least one of these things doing that.
I heard there's a thing where you can, if you install a new button there, like inside a small one, and clip it, you won't have that issue anymore. But yeah, because you have big boobs. Look how cute.
I didn't even see the bra.
Well, I can't see it from here. It just looks like a huge hole. But other than that, yeah, I can't see it. It's just a heel. It's just a hole. But it looks cute. I love that. If I was tiny, I would rock that. I love it, but I hate it. I love it, but I hate it on you. If that made sense. Twirl for me. I love it. It's adorable. Have you ever seen the inside of a Walmart office? Now you have. Looks like they have radios, phones, a mic pack to talk, phone, computer, tape, very important, a scanner, and then that stuff. You look pregnant. No, I'm sorry. Is that mean? I don't mean it to be mean. I mean, you're very tiny. Just in that dress, you look like you look pregnant. I'm sorry.